Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Carl with Active English. Today I want to look at the expression, how are you doing? Really common American expression and really confusing to my students as far as what does it mean? What does it actually mean? And how do you respond? What is the appropriate response in different contexts? Okay, so if you remember the show from the 1990s, Friends, this was a really popular American sitcom, a comedy, which is also a fantastic way to learn about American slang, American idioms, American vocabulary, body language, casual expressions. Great way to learn English. So Joey Tribbiani, his trademark expression was, how you doing?
How you doing?
Now, it just shows you, right? Joey was using this to express romantic interest. It just shows you that the way you express this, the intonation, the tone of voice, really determines the meaning of this expression, okay? So in this video, I want to break it down into the three most common uses of this expression, how are you doing? And I want to analyze this according to two variables, and those variables are, number one, intonation, right? Do I raise the voice at the end or do I keep it flat? So that's number one. And number two, the time. Is there time allowed for a response, right? The context. Is there an actual time to have a discussion? Okay, and I hope that those two variables and looking at these three different situations will allow you to determine what is the correct response when you hear people say, how are you doing? Okay, so let's have a look at the three different situations. The first one, how are you doing? This, I would say, is the most common use of this expression. I would say 90% of the time. It's just being used by Americans as a friendly hello. We're not really expecting a response. We're not really inviting a conversation. We're just being polite. We're saying hello. It's just a very common expression in American culture. How are you? But what we do mean is hello, okay? Now, in terms of intonation, just listen to the way I say this. How are you? Do you notice I'm not raising my voice in the form of a question, as in situation number two? How are you, right? Do you hear that? How are you? Now that's when I'm asking a real question in situation number two or situation number three. In situation number one, my tone is flat, right? How are you? How are you? So this would be a flat intonation. I'm not really expecting a response. And then also, there's not a lot of time for a response. This might be at an airport, at a coffee shop, at a grocery store, right? There's people behind you in line. So we're not expecting, a response. Maybe you're passing by a colleague in the office, you're just casually passing by them. There's not a lot of time for a discussion, all right? So the intonation is flat, and there's also not that much time for a conversation, okay? So what I mean by this is hello. So what is the correct response? The correct response is, I'm good, I'm doing well, right? I'm fine, right? But you don't need to follow it up with, how are you? We don't need to ask a follow-up question. You can just say, I'm doing well, thank you, okay? So that is the correct response because it's not initiating a dialogue. It's not initiating a conversation, all right? So that's situation number one, okay? Let's look at situation number two. Now listen to my intonation. How you doing? Do you hear that? How you doing? I'm raising my voice in the form of a question, okay? So that's the intonation. What about the time allowed? There is time. We do have time for a conversation. We do have time for a dialogue. So I am actually asking you, how are you? And we're introducing a dialogue. We're introducing a conversation. So in this situation, the correct response would be, I'm well. How are you? Okay? So you're going to ask a follow-up question. Now, we may not really be interested in like, tell me, how are you doing? Are you sick? Are you well? No, the function of this question is just to generate a discussion, generate a conversation. All right. It's a casual greeting, but it's intended to create a dialogue, to create a conversation. It's not just saying hi and then to pass somebody on the street. We want to have a conversation with this person, but this person is not like a close friend where you're going to share like, oh my gosh, let me tell you, my cat is sick. And, yesterday I hurt my ankle and my friend is really upset because they just broke up with their boyfriend. So no, this is not where like you're going to really share personal details, but you are going to have a discussion. You are going to have a conversation. So how are you, right? The correct response, I'm well. How are you? Okay. And now let's get down to business. Let's get down to a sort of, more formal discussion that isn't too personal. Okay. So that's situation number two. Again, the intonation, the voice is raised. How are you? How are you? Right? The voice is raised. how are you? And there's time for an actual discussion. But it's not that intimate. It's not that personal. We're not that, close friends, okay? So that's situation number 2. Okay, let's move on to the third situation. This is a very special situation among very close friends where there's like genuine concern. Somebody's really expressing concern and they really want to know how you're doing. Okay, this is a close friend or a family member. The way you ask this question is you're going to lower your voice, you're going to take your time, you're going to slow it down, and you're not going to raise it too much, right? At the end, it's how are you doing? Okay, do you hear that? So how are you doing, right? It's almost like a statement. It's not the same as number 2. How are you doing, right? It's not cheerful. It's kind of sad, right? It's concern. It's a lower pitch and it's slow, okay? How are you doing? Do you hear that? Now, in this situation, I am really expressing concern for somebody. So the appropriate response would be to share your true feelings, right? Open up and share with a close friend. I'm not doing well, actually. I had a really bad situation yesterday at work. I want to talk about it with you, okay? So this is a special case where it's genuine concern. And again, the voice is lower and it's slower, okay? And as far as the time allowed, there's plenty of time for a dialogue. There's plenty of time for a conversation, okay? So that's situation number 3. I would say the most common situation you're going to run into, you're going to experience in American culture is number 1. It's just a friendly hello. Hey, how are you, right? Again, flat, not raising the voice. It's just a greeting. It's like, hey, what's up, right? It's just saying hello. This is at a coffee shop. This is at an airport. This is at a hotel. It's not intended to have a dialogue, okay? So I hope this was useful for you guys. Again, my students were always confused about this. Like, what is the correct response? I would say 90% of the situations that my students run into, that's one of those phrasal verbs. It means to encounter, to experience. 90% of the situations that my students ran into was the situation number 1, a friendly greeting. They were at a coffee shop, they were at an airport, or at a restaurant, wherever, and somebody's, hey, how are you, right? They don't, again, that American person, they're not really asking how you're doing. They're just saying, how are you? And the correct response is, I'm well, thank you. Okay, you don't need to have a follow-up dialogue or a follow-up conversation here. Okay, so you don't need to say, how are you, right? You can just say, I'm good, thank you. Okay, so I hope that was useful. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Carl with Active English. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye.